All rise. Oyez, oyez, oyez. Silence is commanded by this honorable commission. All those having business, draw near.
I ask that you now bow your heads with me in prayer. We will have prayer and continue to go on with the business here at the county. Gracious God, our Father, from whom all blessings flow, we come humble in your name. We come, O God, because we give you thanks, glory, and honor for allowing us the life, the health, and the strength as we come forth. And Father, we just ask that your Holy Spirit be in this place, that it will run from heart to heart and mind to mind, that as we do the business of the citizens of Chatham County, that we keep in our hearts and in our minds that your will be done on earth as it done in heaven. Bless us in our going out and our coming in. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Commissioner Lockett will lead us in the pledge. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Let me at this time ask everyone who has a cell phone, all right, if you please check your cell phone so that it doesn't go off. In these proceedings, we ask that you not disturb these proceedings as we go along, and let us go to roll call.
Chester A. Ellis, Chairman.
Present.
Kenneth A. Adams, District 8, Vice Chairman. Helen L. Stone, District 1, Chairman Pro Tem.
Present.
Larry Gator Rivers, District 2. Bobby Lockett, District 3.
Present.
Patrick K. Farrell, District 4.
Here.
Tanya Milton, District 5.
Present.
Aaron Whiteley, District 6.
Here.
Dean Kicklighter, District 7.
Okay. Let us now go to our proclamations and our special presentation, and I'm going to call on the 6th District Commissioner, Commissioner Whiteley, who will lead us in the presentation.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm trying to wait for, it looks like, a representative from the Greater Savannah Black Chamber of Commerce has just made us. If you would, Mr. Stewart, please join us at the podium. Welcome. Whereas historian John William Templet Whereas historian John William Templeton and engineer Frederick E. Jordan, Sr. founded National Black Business Month in August of 2004 to drive the policy agenda affecting the 2.6 million African American businesses. And whereas throughout history, despite facing systemic racism, redlining, and even extreme violence, as evidenced through the Tulsa Massacre of 1921, black businesses continue to grow and thrive throughout the nation. And whereas, despite being systemically isolated from investment capital, development resources, and digital visibility, businesses owned by black women nationwide have increased and accounts for 21% of all women-owned businesses in the United States. And whereas, we recognize that black businesses have been disproportionately impacted by the pandemic, which forced many businesses to close and has resulted in a 40% drop in black business ownership nationwide. Now, therefore, I, Chester A. Ellis, Chairman, on behalf of the Chatham County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of August 2022 as Black Business Month in Chatham County in recognition of the successes, milestones, and historical progress of black businesses and entrepreneurs, and urge all citizens to patronize, strengthen, and support black-owned businesses in our community, not only during the month of August, but throughout the year. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of Chatham County, Georgia, to be affixed on this, the 12th day of August, 2022. Thank you.
Mr. Stewart, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Chairman Ellis. other commissioners. Commissioner Whiteley, thank you for being involved and making sure that we were at the table. We're the Greater Savannah Black Chamber of Commerce, so proud to be here today. We are a new but strong organization of over 252 minority-owned businesses in our area. And our main goal is to make sure that our business have equity, to make sure that we are empowering and training them, and making sure that we have an environment they can sustain and thrive. So we appreciate it. We appreciate the support from the county, and anything that we can do to support you, please let us know.
All right. Thank you, sir. And
Thank you.
let me say, while you're here, on September the 14th, all right, we will have a small business workshop for those small business who have been impacted by the COVID virus, all right? And they may have laid off folks, they have to cut hours or whatever that is. It will be at 4 o'clock at the Ralph Mark Gilbert, so if you will spread that word among your colleagues, all right, so that they can come and hear,
Yes, sir.
all right? And in the meantime, what they can do is go on the county website and go to a small business program that they will find on there, and it will give them some directions in. And then if they don't have a clear understanding, come on the 14th so that we can help them, all right?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day and congratulations.
Have a good day, sir.
We don't have any chairman items or commissioner items. We don't have any table items. All right, which brings us to items for individual action. To request approval of the following budget amendments and transfer in the general fund. A, transfer $140,024 from other financial uses contingency to department salary and benefits as listed in the attachment. B, transfer $25,000 from contingency to probate court operations. 2, in the special service district, transfer $177,267 from other financial uses contingency to public works salary and benefits. In the sewer fund, transfer $19,936 from other financial uses contingency to sewer department salary and benefits. In the solid waste fund, transfer $40,675 from other financial uses contingency to department salary and benefit as listed in attachment 1. In the curbside pickup fund, transfer $14,547 from other financial use contingency to curbside pickup fund salary and benefit. In the capital reserve fund, transfer $114,000 from contingency to the detention center chiller project. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman, but I also have a quick question.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
All right, it's been properly motioned and second. We ready for the unreadiness? Commissioner Stone, 1.
It's just a question, Mr. Chairman. We talked at the last meeting about the dry trash pickup, and I still want to follow up with looking to see what we need to do for a commercial rate for places that have more than one pile of pickup, whether it's yard debris or whether it's the bulky items once a month.
All right, and I can say now, staff is working on that as we speak, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, any other unreadiness? Please cast your votes. Okay. We go to the action calendar. All right, no one desired anything to be pulled out and voted separately, so may I have a motion to accept the action calendar in its entirety?
So moved.
Been properly motion and second that the action calendar be accepted as an entirety. Is there a question? No questions. Please cast your votes. All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Just for the sake of one Chatham, can you talk about just section, item number 8, the IGA with Thunderbolt for resurfacing? Just want to kind of make sure the public is aware of how the county is working with municipalities to do the good for all citizens in the county.
Okay. Mr. Manager?
Yes, sir. We're doing some resurfacing, and Thunderbolt approached us about including one of their roads in our contract to to get a better rate. So we're just helping them as we do other municipalities when we've got sections where we're resurfacing a road that abuts their jurisdiction. If they want to participate, they can get the same rate that we get.
Thank you.
And it makes sense for us to work it together because it does save the folks at Thunderbolt money as well as save the county. Okay, so that's what that is about. One Chatham, baby. One Chatham, yes, sir. All right, there are no first readers, there are no second readers. So now we go to information, Mr. Manager.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. As we indicated in the pre-meeting, we want to remind all the commissioners that we've got an invitation to the ribbon cutting for Jimmy Loach Parkway. And we will have transportation from any commissioner that want to leave from the courthouse. And that's going to be on August 28th at 9 a.m. So we want to make sure that you have that on your calendar. And that's an invitation from District Commissioner Ann Purcell of GDOT. So we want to make sure you've got that on your calendar.
All right, question from Commissioner Farrell.
Yes, sir.
Talking about leaving here at 9 o'clock or the ribbon cut's at 9 o'clock?
The ribbon cutting's at 9 o'clock. We'll probably need to leave here no later than 8:30. So, but we'll have a van for any commissioner that wants to ride out. Next on the agenda, Mr. Chairman, we've got a couple of updates from Ms. Jennings. The first on the small business grant program, and the other on our rent and utility assistance program. So I'm going to ask Ms. Jennings to come to the microphone and come to the podium and provide you with those updates.
Okay.
All right, good morning.
Morning. Morning.
So just wanted to kind of provide you with a brief update or status of where we are with the Small Business Grant Program. This project was one of the things that we are funding through the America Rescue Plan Act, the state and local fiscal recovery funds that the board prioritized last August. We have executed the grant and we are moving forward. If you may recall, we actually started with unincorporated county on April the 1st, and then July 1st, we expanded that to include the municipalities with the exception of City of Savannah because they have a similar program. We allocated $1.5 million toward the program with an administration cost right at $98,000. To date, we have approved 27 small businesses, and we've awarded just a little more than $550,000. We still have about $800,000, a little more than $8,000 left. We have a vendor coming in town next week to do some outreach and some canvassing in the areas, and they will be working with the municipalities, doing some outreach and working with our banks and small business assistants like the chambers, as well as those agencies or businesses who actually help small businesses file their taxes. So we're going to be working through them to spread the word. And in addition to that, as the chairman referenced, we do have a plan for September the 14th to do an outreach and promotion event at the Ralph Mark Gilbert Museum. And just to kind of give you a quick snapshot of how that looks, there have been 263 businesses who have registered in the portal. It is an online process. Of those, 109 applications have been submitted. So in that process of registering, they have to identify their location and some other information. If that does not prove that they're eligible, then they don't go to the next level. And eligibility not only includes their location, but it also includes the fact that they have to be negatively impacted by COVID. So while some businesses may tell you they're negatively impacted, when we start looking at the tax returns, they've actually made money in some cases. So it's a little bit of a tricky process. So we have 51 of those applications that were not eligible, and it could be what I just stated, or it could be their location. And we have 31 that are under review. Within that, 7 are incomplete, so we're still waiting on some documentation to be uploaded. And then, like I referenced earlier, 27 grants have been awarded. just to kind of give you a snapshot or really a short story, a success story, a couple of examples. We have one business who's a painting business, and the product paint has actually almost tripled because of COVID and because of the merchandise and the process of making that. They were able to document that cost increase, and we were able to award them funds to be able to help with the cost of paint so they could keep their business operating. Another one, and which is in a lot of categories we've seen this, has been in the landscape space. Cost of gas and fuel has gone up, and that has impacted their budget. So we were able to help those. And another one that's kind of unique, I didn't actually list it as a success story, but I think that one of our staff members suggested at the event we might bring them out, Mr. Chairman, is it's actually a portable van that goes to birthday parties and helps with children. And especially during COVID, during isolation, and children not being able to get out and be active and social, this has been a really a unique way of engaging. And so they've actually expanded not just from birthday parties, but going into neighborhoods and engaging young people with doing some things and active type stuff. So it's just some things that we've been working on. Our ask of you is that you help us in promoting the website, help us get the message out. Once we get the flyer for the event, we will definitely send that out through the clerk's office and ask that you help us promote that. And we'll also share with you just some other images that you can put on their social media pages to help encourage and spread the message. And it's really just kind of a quick, I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have about that program.
All right, any questions from commissioners?
Yes, this is very simple. I did not get the name of the person, the company that does the birthday.
I don't think we have that now.
Did you give the name?
Hold on a second. I have to look it up. So on the packet that you have in your manager's update, the list that has the businesses listed on it, it's the Witham Blessing Incorporated is the number 27 is the one that does that.
And that's very creative on that part too.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, now you can go to
Go to the
rental assistance.
Okay. So I don't have a PowerPoint for the rent utility assistance enrollment program, but you do have it in your packet. As many of you know, Chatham County did receive funds in the emergency rental assistance program. We actually have 3 distinct pots of funds. So for ease of clarification, I'm just going to reference them as simple as I know how. They are ERA 1, which expires September 30th of this year. Almost 98% of those funds have been obligated and or expended, okay? ERA 1 Plus was the reallocation from state funds that we received, and we have a vendor working on that. And the vendor who's working on that, these funds will expire in December of this year. And they are hosting an event tomorrow at the Jonesville Baptist Church, encouraging people to bring all of their paperwork, all of their information, and just to clarify, the tenant and or the landlord can actually submit an application. But they both have to agree to work together to get the funds passed. It is not a simple process. It is not an easy process because it is in an effort to ensure that we are not using funds fraudulently. So we need all the paperwork to support that the individual has been impacted by COVID and that the rent that they are telling us, the utility bills they are bringing to us are legitimate expenses. So we understand that. And then the third part is the ERA 2, and we have paused that until we get all of the ERA 1 funds expended because they have a very quick and an approaching timeline. ERA 2, we have a little bit more time to focus on. And we'll be happy to send out any more information if you would like icons or social media images for the rent and utility assistance to put on your social media page. We'll be happy to share that with you. Again, just ask that you help us spread the message. That's all I have.
And to all the commissioners, if anyone call you about rental assistance, please refer them to the website and to the program, all right? Because the first phase of that now is December's coming. And in fact, it's right here. We need to spend that money by December, all right? So tell folks don't eliminate themselves. Go ahead and get in the portal and do the application and go through the paperwork. Rather than saying, I'm not going to get it anyway, all right? Just go through it and do it anyway because we do, I'm going to tell you, it's a pet peeve with me. I don't like sending that money back, all right? Especially when I know that there are people who can use it. But anything we can do to assist them, to help them get their house in order, all right, we'll do that so that they can receive these rental assistance and utilities assistance. Catch me, Linda. Thank you. All right. Anything, questions from any commissioner? Commissioner Milson?
When does ERA 2 expire?
Not until 2024.
24.
Yeah.
We're not worried about that one right now.
No, we want to get.
I need to worry about 1 and 1+.
Gotcha.
Because we don't want that money to go back.
Thank y'all.
All right. Anything else? All right.
Next, Mr. Chairman, we're gonna get an update on the gymnasium project and the update on the Green Island Trail project, and I'm gonna ask Ms. Cooler to come to the podium and provide that update.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So first, the gymnasium project, or also known as the indoor recreational facility. I'm going to go through the history of all the various concepts that we've developed thus far, and then what our next steps should be. Well, so first we started with a 4 to 6 court gymnasium. This is a 2-story or 2-level plan that includes 80,000 square feet with 4 to 6 courts. It has a suspended jogging track on the 2nd level and a fitness center and all the dedicated spaces. This plan is an estimated build of $32.2 million. We then, after meetings with commissioners and getting various input from stakeholders, we decided to look at a 12-court facility. The first round of the 12-court facility, again, was 2 levels. They're in front of you. And it was a 142,500 square foot building with an estimated cost of $55.7 million. Has the 12 courts. It also has a suspended jogging track, not competitive, which was one of the comments that came out of our last update. And also the chairman asked the public to comment on the plan. We did get feedback from the Recreational Sports Council, sorry. And then this final plan was adopted after those comments. And this plan is a single-story 12-court facility that has an indoors track and field, 200-meter track that could host track and field events indoors. It also, you'll see down there in the right-hand corner, it has the 2 courts there can be converted to arena-sized courts with pull-out stadium seating and could host a professional-type event. This facility, we estimate, will be about 160,000 square feet and will cost about $62.2 million to build. So knowing all that and what we've come to so far, our next steps, we believe, should be a market analysis to determine what the local market will support as far as sports tourism goes. There's a firm that does this nationally and can come in and determine this and let us know just to help us guide those decisions. The other thing, we're finalizing the site selection. We've identified property at Tom Triplett Park. We're finalizing those plans and securing that property. The other step will be to identify the funding. Right now, we've allocated $17 million in the current SPLOST, and of course, we'd have to identify where the additional money would come from. And after all of those, and once the board decides which direction they want to go, we would go out for requests for proposals for final design.
Ready? All right, Commissioner Farrell, I see his hand first. Commissioner Whiteley. Anyone else hands? All right, Commissioner Farrell.
Can we go back to the picture of the, I just want to say, I really, really like this picture. This encapsulates, I think, all the commissioners' input. And I could be wrong, and if there's more input, certainly feel free to, this is the time to do it while it's on the drawing board. But having an indoor competitive track is awesome. That suits a great need. having the arena where you can have a professional or large game with seating is awesome. All this space, which you didn't mention, could be, you know, we could do pickleball in there, tennis, I mean, wrestling, I mean, good gracious, with a big facility like this, the possibilities are endless into what types of activities we could ask or present for the people of Chatham County, and then for guests from outside the county should there be tournaments. And I can imagine there will be a lot of people wanting to come here for this tournament, and that different folks want to put on. So I'm liking what I see, and I think that we should ask staff to look at financing how this can be built and get it built as quickly as possible. If we can spend $70+ million for some courtrooms, we certainly owe it to the youth of this county to spend $62 million for this facility and get it done as soon as possible. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Whiteley?
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Ms. Cooler and staff. Thank you so much for your work on this. I'm very eager to see what the that research firm can put together. I really think that where the basketball tournaments, of course, you know, I love sports, and basketball especially. I know there's a huge market for that, but I think where we would really end up making our money back is at track, because there is the nearest indoor competitive track facilities are going to be in Columbia, South Carolina. And I think the next one is Gainesville, University of Florida. And I've traveled with my son to track meets. When I was in college, I used to be skinny, and I ran in indoor track meets, and they bring a lot of people. So when we talk about the tourism and sports tourism, I think it is definitely an avenue of engagement for our community that not only exposes our local citizens to bigger, greater competition, but it puts us where we need to be. We're no less than Atlanta. We're Atlanta of the South, baby. This is Savannah, and I think that we've already set a tone with Memorial Stadium, with having a high-class facility for athletics, and I think this is right in track with that. That will have multiple benefits, not just for our community, but those surrounding us. So I'm excited about this. And I might get skinny again and run on the track.
Forget that.
Thank you.
You want to comment on that?
Yes, sir, and we certainly taking all the comments from the commission. One of the things, because this is really a significant investment, we really anticipate bringing in that firm. It's the same firm that helped us with Memorial Stadium and the siding and kind of the usage. We want to solicit a proposal from them to help us in the next step, because we've got to address financing, the siding, just a number of issues that we're going to have to finalize before we come back to the board. So that is what we're recommending as the next step.
Can I get this picture? Can you send this to me?
Yeah, you can transmit it to all of them. All right, Commissioner Lockett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm very pleased with this particular project. When I think of one Chatham, I think of a healthy Chatham, I think of a safety Chatham, and this will keep us healthy by working out, and it also will keep us safe by simply being busy. So I'm very pleased with that project for those reasons, healthy and safety.
Okay, anyone else? Commissioner Rivers?
Well, you know, my interest, thank you, Chair, my interest definitely is the basketball concept, and I'm not going to say a word because you have covered me. 12 basketball courts, I'm drooling. So
What you say?
I want pickleball.
All right, everyone, let me ask you now, I need to, for my clarification, and I think also for our commissioner's clarification, that slide, you had the 17 million? All right, no. SPLOST 7, but here's where I am, now y'all have to straighten me out. When we voted to put SPLOST 7 in, that number was 22 million. for recreation?
Well,
All right.
okay, so the recreation was divided into a couple of different projects, one being indoor recreation, the
Okay.
other being outdoor multipurpose
Oh, okay,
fields
okay.
and so forth.
that's where
It
the
wasn't
split
all-
is.
Right.
All right, well, but I knew, from memory, I knew, I voted on 22 million for recreation. All right,
Right.
so I wanted to find out what happened to the rest. Yeah. Okay, so now I know, now you're saying they're two different pots. The two pots together equal 22 million.
Correct.
All right, so now, commissioners, we have a job. Our job is to go find out the difference between the 17 million for this project that's allocated, that's earmarked, and the cost. All right, so that's one, will you flip to the recommendations?
Do you mean for that one, or that was the
No,
recommendation?
the ones where you're talking about the concern, yeah, this is it, next step, all right? The next step is that we all agreeing that they're gonna do the market analysis. Am I right? Okay, and from the market analysis and getting the companies in here to help us, and so if we have to, your favorite that you see, if we have to downsize it some, all right, because of the monies that we have to come up with, or what the market says is more feasible for our particular area, all right? So don't jump out the seat, because if they come back with that, but let us, I think it's in our best interest that we get those analysis and thing in so that we can make an intelligent decision as to where we're going. But I think everybody's favorite was the one that everybody enjoyed, especially with the indoor track part. Okay, so anything else you need from that, Ms. School?
I would, Linda reminded me to point out that that market analysis will also include operating costs so that we'll know going forward
Right.
what we need to plan
Right.
for.
Yeah, we have to take in consideration everything that's gonna happen in there, okay?
But there'll be offsets from outside
Absolutely.
tournaments.
And that's what it'll look at is, you know, how many tournaments can you expect to pull in each
Right,
year? to
so
help
that you
us.
have a complete picture. Yes, sir, Mr.
I have one question.
Representative.
You mentioned the possibility of one major court for big events.
The arena size?
Yeah.
Yes, so down in the right-hand corner of this drawing, you can see that it combines two courts into one horizontally instead of vertically. The bleachers slide out, it's an arena-sized court.
To the right here.
All right, you're gonna get this.
What would that seat? You have any idea?
I don't know right off. no.
Okay.
That will come in the analysis, in the market analysis,
We-
wouldn't it?
We can flesh all that out during final
Right.
design, too.
Thank you.
Right. We can help, the consultant can help us determine what that should be and what it should look like, so what the capacity would be.
Yeah. Ideally, that would be a court that could host college games.
Yeah.
We want to have the ultimate flexibility. So if we want to host college games like we do the hockey, you know, events like that. So we want this to be as flexible as
Showcase-
possible.
showcase
you know.
games.
Yeah, we want the pickleball, the volleyball, track, you know, anything that they do indoor, we want to be able to do it there. Volleyball, you know, basketball, everything.
All right, Commissioner Adams?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Have we set aside a cost for the land yet?
No, we're determining that now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
One of the sites, if you can recall, when we first talked about this, we identified two sites, one on Wilmington Island, the other at Triplet Park, and we were looking at places where the county already owned land, and we wouldn't have to buy land. So that was our first step. So one of the proposals or recommendations that staff is making is we've got land available at Triplet Park, but the consultant, they'll come in and they will look at other sites, potential other sites, to make sure we got the best location to put this facility.
Because one of the comments that, and I shouldn't say one because there are more than one, when we gave the last update, some of the feedback that I got was that folks talked about it, the facility being more centrally located, all right? And right now, we don't own any land that's centrally located, okay? So we have to look at that too, as what they're giving to us and where we're going forward with this, all right? Anything else from any other commission? Commissioner Farrell?
Yeah, at the last presentation, I asked what kind of a geographical footprint are we talking about to handle a facility like this? In other words, how many acres of land would be necessary to build this facility adequately?
Somewhere around 15 acres would build this one.
So the target is around 15 acres, okay?
15
And-
being the smallest.
Yeah, more is always better, obviously. Parking. yeah.
15 being.
Definitely the
That would
parking is-
include parking and stormwater features and
Yeah.
so forth.
Sound like the third district to me.
Well, one of the advantages we talked about at Tom Triplett was that it could be a shared parking facility for the proposed amphitheater and this, so that when you have events at one or the other, you've already got the parking for that.
Right. Yeah, well, I'll be interested to see the market study, because if they came up with a location that was even better than that, that would be awesome, because, location is very important for the maximum use of this property. I mean, there's 30 acres on Wilmington Island that we own that's a blank slate, but that may or may not be the best location, So, we need the best location, not one commissioner's preferred location. So anyway, having said that, I would urge all urgency to get this thing moving. We really would like, I would like, and I think I speak for some of the other commissioners, if not all of them, we would really like to see this thing move along, prove to the community we can deliver on a SPLOST project, and we can deliver a really first-class project.
Okay. Now, let me, I'm gonna do two things. I got everybody? All right, I wanna do two things. Number one, when we talk about being done expeditiously now, we gotta remember there are steps to the process. And we have to go through all the steps to make sure we cover it, all right? Yeah, don't skip anything, because we mess up. But let me just say, and this is one of the things that hit me, when we talked about the arena-sized court, all right, and how it can be a college. So I'm gonna put in the plug already, all right? I can see a Savannah State, Georgia Southern basketball game going on first, all right? So then, listen, I just put it in there because we got those two colleges here, so, putting a crosstown rivalry in there would be the first, that'd be the first event, so start printing the tickets. All right, I'm just kidding.
Mr. Chairman, Beach and Savannah High might sell it out before Savannah State.
That ain't college. Okay, anything else now? Anything else from Ms. Coolidge along this line? All right? Okay, now we go to Green Island.
So Green Island Road Multipurpose Trail is a 10-foot wide concrete multipurpose trail proposed along Green Island Road from Diamond Causeway to the end of Green Island Road. It's about 2.1 miles, and currently there are no pedestrian facilities on this roadway that gets jogging and bicycle traffic now that is now in the travelway. This will connect to the trail and the cart path on Diamond Causeway, so to add a connection to that and to that commercial development on Skidaway Island. Currently, skip ahead, sorry. Currently, we're underway to find a consultant to design it. We've decided to go through the state and federal procurement process so that we don't get excluded from any state or federal grant funds. Right now, we have put out a request for qualifications. Those were scored. We've narrowed it. Well, we got 4 back. Typically, you have to have at least 3 to move forward to the next phase. So what we said is, well, instead of excluding any of them, they're all qualified, they can move to the next phase. The next phase is they submit an actual proposal with their approach and past performance criteria. We've received those. We're currently scoring those. We'll determine from there. If the scoring's pretty close, we do actual in-person interviews. If they're not, then we can narrow it down to a firm that we will then go into negotiations for scope and fee. You can see from the schedule, we expect to award a consultant design contract by the end of this year. going through that whole process just takes time. And like I said, we are doing that because, as you can see here, we are applying for grant funds through the core MPO and then also through a state grant program for outdoor stewardship. We don't want to exclude those because we can leverage our local funds by matching anything that they give us and not having to build the whole thing ourselves. We do have money right now for design, so we don't have to wait for any grant allocations to start the design process. We're just hoping to get those grant funds to help with construction. We do anticipate that going through this process, being the state and federal procurement process, that it will be a lengthy 2-year construction process, meaning it will take us 2 years from now to have a design and actually construct. But again, that allows us to get those state and federal dollars and leverage our local dollars instead of paying for all of that ourselves.
All right. Ready? All right, any questions from any commissioner? Commissioner Whiteley?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, and thank you for that, Ms. Cooler. What is our budget for this?
Well, currently, we only have $1 million in trail money in the current SPOS. And we've got currently about just under 200,000 set aside for design for this. Construction, I knew you were gonna ask this and I wrote it down, where I wrote it. We've also included an NT SPOS for those dollars if that should pass. Oh, shoot.
Okay.
But it'll be a couple $1 million to actually construct it.
Gotcha. And then on let's see, that next slide, when you talked about the actual process of this process, one thing you said excluding if necessary, you'll put out the RFQ, and then if necessary, you would exclude some. What determines that?
Sorry. So the process is we issue a request for qualifications. We get those in. Those are scored. The way the process works is you can eliminate, once they're scored, you pick, not eliminate, but you pick the top 3 firms to move forward to the next phase. So you're narrowing down your pool to the top 3 firms to give you a full proposal. We received 4 statements of qualifications. So instead of saying, well, we're only going to pick the top 3, since there are only 4, you're all qualified, why don't you all give us your proposals?
Okay. All right, so, okay, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, if everybody's qualified, why exclude anybody, right?
Right.
I understand.
And to answer your previous question, it was $3 million is what we've
Gotcha, is the
estimated
budget. Okay,
for the
thank you.
construction. Sorry.
Okay. Now, listen, and made a decision that since we had 4, that we were gonna just put all 4 in. But now the normal process in the procurement is that if you have 5, you take the top 3. If you have 7, you take the top 4, all right? So some things that they do go by their normal procurement process, all right? But this is just one. You're talking about just eliminating just one, all right? So they said, well, why eliminate just that one when you can?
And the policy is at least 3.
At least 3.
So what
yeah.
we said is, okay, well, since we had 4, we'll go with 4.
But I just want to make sure we had that clear, and that applies to other things that have been done through procurement, all right? Any other questions? All right, Commissioner Farrell?
Okay. Just, looks like a great project. I think it'll add a lot to the island. They'll have connectivity to the state, Georgia State Park, and keep kids and adults alike safe going up and down that 2-mile stretch of road, which a lot of people from town come out there just to ride their bicycles because it's wooded and deer run across the road and everything else. So anyway, I'm in a hurry for that one too. So keep the process moving. No pauses.
Right. All right. Anything else? All right, there is a need for us to go into executive session. All right, and may I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Probably motion is, oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead. I had one question for Mr. Kegler.
Okay, go ahead.
I know we talked about the process that you're going through with the dock on Diamond Cruiserway, Moon River.
I'll ask Ms. Cooler to give you an update on
Yeah,
that.
because, you know, just for the public, because you and I have had this conversation, but I got one guy that's bugging me to death about that. Joe Davis, he's bugging me to death about that
Yes,
dock,
sir.
so,
Ms. Cooler.
Just a moment. I'm trying to get the
pull up
latest.
the
I want to make
email.
sure we have
Yeah.
the very latest. Wait for my email to load. We did, I will say that we did have the pier evaluated, and some structural items were noted that needed to be repaired. Excuse me. Where that currently is it's coming through now. It's under design for those repairs. And the schedule for that is next 3 weeks. We expect to have that design complete, so by the next, well, not the next meeting, but the first meeting in September, maybe we can have an update for you.
you have an update, but you don't have a completion date at this point.
Well, we expect to have it out for bid by the end of the year, so
Okay.
we should be able to award a contract for that by the end of the
Boy,
year.
I gotta listen to this boy for a whole year.
Yeah. Tell him we have to just wait until we go through the process. Keep it moving. All right? It's moving, but it's just a process, and the process takes time. Especially if we are trying to leverage our, federal and state funds to be in this. Sometime when we send it over to the MPO, for them to get through their process, it takes 18 months. All right, so sometimes this is just something you just can't make a decision on this month and do it next month. It doesn't work that way. All right, so now give me a motion. I've cleared everybody. Do it again. Cleared everybody?
I
All right.
made the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Properly motion and second that we go into executive session. Ready for the question? Please, land acquisition, personnel, all right, and litigation. Please vote. Third. Okay, we are in executive session.